this video is going to just show you quickly how to solve quadratic equations which have already been factorised. So you can see that's our question at the top. Solve these quadratic equations which are already in factorised form. And we're going to do 4 examples today. Let's have a look at example number 1. We're told x multiplied by x plus 4 is equal to 0. Now before we do that, let's have a little think. What I've really got here, I'll do it with my red pen, is x is multiplied by x plus 4. And we're told that that is equal to 0. So I have something that we can call a, which it could be my x, is multiplied by b. Two things multiplied together, and I know that it equals 0. Well, we know that one of those must be 0, because something multiplied by something else, if it's going to give me 0 as an answer, I know that either a is 0 or b is 0, and that would give me my answer equaling 0. So if I'm given something like this where I know x multiplied by x plus 4 equals 0, I can say either x is equal to 0 or x plus 4 is equal to 0. Now we use that property to help us solve quadratic equations. So let's have a look at the first one here. I have x multiplied by x plus 4 is equal to 0. I can say, right, two things multiplied together. I've got my x, I've got my x plus 4. So I know that x is equal to 0. That's the x from the front. Or x plus 4 is equal to 0. Now when we're solving any equation, we always want what x is equal to. So I've got that here, x is equal to 0. Or, let's rearrange this, bring my positive 4 over to the other side. X is equal to negative 4. So I have two solutions for this first example. Let's have a look at example 2. Let me move that up a little bit. So example number 2, let's solve, let's go for 2d, d minus 4 is equal to 0. So it's not an x, but you could have lots of different letters, and you'll see that in the questions that you do today. It's not only x, it could be any letter of the alphabet that we're solving for. So again, we've got 2d, this time is multiplied by d minus 4. So I know that either 2d is equal to 0, or d minus 4 equals 0, because that's the two terms that are multiplied together, my 2d and my d minus 4. Well, simply, d must be equal to 0. If I divide 0 by 2, that just gives me 0, or d is equal to positive 4. Those are my two solutions. Let's have a look at a couple more examples. Let's flip this over. Let's have a look at example number 3. So you'll see in the questions we get you to do today that the first 2 examples will help you with the first few questions. Then they will look a little bit more like our example number 3 here. So let's have a look. If we were going to solve x plus 7, x minus 3 is equal to 0. Just like previously, I've got two terms that are multiplied together. The only difference is this time it's a bracket multiplied by a bracket. So I can say, well, x plus 7 must equal 0, or the second term that I've multiplied must equal 0, so x minus 3 equals 0. For both of these, I'm going to have to rearrange it so it's x equals negative 7, or x equals 3. That's my solution for this example here. That's my answer. Let's have a look lastly then at example number 4. And when you get down to the questions at the end of today's exercise, you'll see things that look a little bit like this. I've got 2p plus 1 and 3p minus 4 is equal to 0. Again, two terms multiplied together and it equals 0. So either this term, 2p plus 1, is equal to 0, or 3p minus 4 is equal to 0. Now you can see here, in my example 3, it was quite easy to solve for x because I was just moving a 7 over, or I was just moving a negative 3 over. Here I'm going to have to do 2 steps to solve each of these. First of all, I'm going to move my plus 1 to the other side, so that'll leave me with 2p is where it originally was, and that's equal to negative 1. Finally, divide by your 2, so p is either negative a half, or I've got 3p is equal to 4, and p is equal to 4 over 3. So I have my two solutions, p is equal to -1/2 and p is equal to 4/3. So sometimes towards the end, you're going to get fractions as your answers. That's completely fine. Just go with it. That's what we're doing today. So these have already been factorized for you. You're just pulling out your solutions. Tomorrow, we're going to look at questions where you're going to have to factorize them first and then do this step.